So it is officially time. The soil temps are above 50 degrees. As you can see, we are greening up. We're starting to get a little bit of growth. And so I'm going to talk to you about the number one most important thing that you can do right now for a better looking lawn this year. All right, so it is time for us to do what I think is the most important step for a better looking yard. Outside of mowing, I think this is the most important thing you can do, and that is putting down a pre-emergent. What it's gonna do is gonna help prevent crabgrass and a lot of other difficult to control weeds from coming up and growing in your lawn. It is not going to control all weeds. That's a common misconception. There are clover and other things that it's not gonna control. And so I am using the Prodiamin water dispersible granules. I don't have the container here, and that's something I want to talk about, is that this is probably the most affordable product for pre-emergent that you can use. You do have to have a backpack sprayer for it. Do not try to put this stuff in a hose-in sprayer. Do not try to put this in a spreader and spread it out. Here are these granules right here, and just because they are granules, do not put them in a spreader like you would a granular fertilizer and spread it out. Do not do that. That would be very bad. Like I said, this stuff is very, very inexpensive, but the container, the jug that it comes in, would last me on my lawn like 12 years. And so I split it with my father-in-law, or actually I'm mooching off my father-in-law. He bought the jug because he has a much larger yard, and I just took what I needed. If only this stuff was blue, I would be like Jesse Pinkman, Walter White on Breaking Bad. That would be awesome. So this takes a very, very low rate for my lawn. After looking at the label, I need about 0.4 ounces for the spring application. I'm going to do a split app. I talk more about that in my podcast. You can find the link down below if you want to check that out. Essentially for that split app, I'm taking that total amount and I'm splitting it in half. I'm putting half down now, and then in about 30 to 45 days, I'm going to put the second half down. So as you can see, I've got 1.2 ounces. That's enough to cover my 6,000 square feet here. Very low amount. It's very easy to over apply, so you need to be very careful with this stuff. All right, one tip, whenever you go to add this, don't just pour this straight in here. I know from experience that if you do that, it will settle on the bottom, and even though you go to mix it up after, most of it will mix up, but some of it won't. And then whenever you go to spray, the first little bit will be yellow, like mustard.
Yellow or Dijon?
It is. Oh, spicy brown, actually.
What are you mumbling about?
So to mix it up properly, you can kind of do two things. One, you can take a bucket, you can put some water in there, and then you can mix this up in the bucket before you pour it in here. That will be very good. But what I like to do, I filled this up about halfway to where I'm going to do the final product. So I've got 2 gallons in here. I'm going to go ahead, take my paint stirrer, and then I'm just going to go ahead and start stirring the water up and then pour it in. All right, so I'm starting to fall in love with applying liquids, and the reason why I like doing liquids with the backpack sprayer is because you can mix multiple products in at once. And so I'm going to go ahead and put some humic acid in here. I'm going to be using humic acid monthly at 3 ounces per 1,000 because humic acid is good. 3 ounces per 1,000 squares. Lastly, I'm going to use this liquid soil aerator, and the reason I'm using this is because it'll just kind of break the bonds in the soil, loosen up the soil, allow the roots to drive deeper into the soil, and looser soil for the most part is always a good thing. 1 ounce per 1,000 squares. All right, so the only thing left to do, we're going to add our water back up to the 4-gallon mark, mix it even more, and then go spray. All right, so we have got the pre-emergent down. The most important step in lawn care, in my opinion. The only thing left to do is water it in. So either water it in a half an inch or do like I did and plant it up so it's gonna rain here in about an hour, and we're supposed to get a half an inch, so that will be perfect. I've had a lot of questions from people about where I got this. I got this from Rural King. I'm sure you can get it from any tractor or supply store that comes in many different sizes. And I know it's not anything super exciting, but I'm gonna go ahead and give one away. But first, all right, that is it. That is the official branded Lawn Whisperer measuring cup. So if you want to win this, leave a comment down below. Let me know what you are using for pre-emergent this year, and if you're spraying, let me know what you're using to mix with it if you're using anything at all. Thank you guys so much for watching. We will see you next time.